With just 4 months until Georgia's next election, state election leaders are investigating hundreds of misleading voter registration mailers sent out to deceased individuals. Georgia's Secretary of State says, ironically, instead of encouraging voters to show up at the polls, this could reduce voter trust. Atlanta Bureau Chief Archit Seshadri reports.
Georgia's Secretary of State says they've received nearly 400 of these mailer forms, but in fact, many of them are dead voters. So now their office has to not only review and spend time, but contact some of those voters who in fact are alive. That's why the Secretary of State says they want people to check their My Voter page and make sure they are an active registered voter before the November election. The Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, has launched an investigation into Ready to Register and other third-party civic groups after voter registration mailers were sent out to deceased individuals, including one family's deceased dog.
Right now we're doing list maintenance, so we are already focused on regular list maintenance because the window's open because we don't have an active election going on. So when I see this, it's really disgusting that this group would send this out and just really tie up resources. And then they make it look like it's coming from our office. So we'll be writing a letter to all these voters. Let them know this didn't come from us. This came from some outside organization.
Raffensperger says similar mailers have also surfaced in North Carolina, and his office wants to determine where the group obtained its data.
This is unacceptable. This is just not the American way. We just celebrated 250 years. I think the founders would be disgusted with this kind of behavior.
Election leaders say the mailers could confuse voters and create extra work for local election offices.
We just want to know who they are and what precipitated this and where they're getting their information from, because it's totally inaccurate, totally off the wall. And look at these responses and the way they've written it. Also, they're thinking that we sent this out to these folks, and many of them are getting quite testy in their responses back. And that's why we'll let them know, no, this didn't come from us. This is the organization that sent it.
Georgia's Secretary of State says they are taking voter fraud very seriously for the upcoming November elections. They're looking out for things like people who vote from out of state, double voters or dead voters, or felons who try to vote. And if you are prosecuted, you could face up to 10 years behind bars or fines of up to $100,000. Reporting inside the Georgia State Capitol, Archit Seshadri, Atlanta Bureau Chief.